Welcome to Disability Partnership Calderdale's podcast. My name is Philip Ingham and I'm a development worker for the organisation, and I'll be your host for this podcast. As you may have heard, Disability Partnership Calderdale recently received 3 more years of lottery funding through the National Lotteries Community Fund. Communications in the form of website, social media and email newsletters have been at the heart of what we do for several years. And thanks to this new funding, which runs for 3 more years, we will continue to focus on our information service for people with disabilities and their families and friends in Calderdale, but also in the wider West Yorkshire area. We're also planning to evolve those communications with the addition of a regular podcast, which will complement our newsletters. The podcasts will contain the same mix of news and event notifications, plus interviews with people who we meet through our work with Disability Partnership Calderdale. And it's with a couple of interviews that we begin this podcast. At our most recent open meeting, we were joined by 2 people from Calderdale Council's Adult Services Department, Assistant Director Anne Flanagan and Co-Production and Engagement Lead Hayley Parks. And it was Anne who we spoke to first. Still relatively new to the job, amongst other things, we asked her about her immediate priorities. Okay, Anne, thanks for speaking to me. Can you introduce yourself, please, and tell me who you are and what your role is?
I can, yeah, nice to meet you. My name's Anne Flanagan, and I'm the Assistant Director for Operations in Adult Services and Wellbeing. So effectively that means I'm in charge of all the social work and social care functions for Calderdale Council. So learning disabilities, mental health, older people, sensory, palliative, sure I'm missing things out, but yeah, all of those sorts of things, and the early help and hospital services, and that includes reablement services.
Sounds like quite a big remit. How long have you been in post?
I've only been in post 4.5 months permanently, so very new, but I came to Calderdale in October to do a different role. Absolutely loved working in Calderdale, absolutely loved it, and so when the opportunity to stay here permanently came up, I jumped at it.
You're visiting Disability Partnership Calderdale today for one of our meetings to meet some of our members. What are your goals while you're here today?
So this is my first time to be actually able to make one of these meetings. I was really keen to be able to do that, and Nicola just kept asking me, and I finally managed to make it. So I'm actually keen to know a bit more about the partnership as well. I've met some people who are involved in it, and as part of my interview, our co-production lead, Hayley Parks, arranged for a panel which we now call the People's Panel. So that's people with lived experience of drawing on adult social care services, and one of your members was part of the panel that chose to appoint me. So I'd like to get to know a bit more about the partnership, and also to understand how we could work together better. So can we forge great partnership working between adult social care in particular, but the council more generally, and the partnership. I know that you've got a huge reach, so fantastic way of being in touch with people to understand what we do that works, what we do that doesn't work, what we might want to see changed. So it feels like a really good opportunity.
At the moment, is there a way that people can get in touch with you? Are you how do people get in touch with you, your department, etc. if they want to talk to you?
Yeah, if they want to talk to me, then my telephone number is public. It's on my email sign-off address. I've got a standard calderdale.gov.uk email address. And that's probably the most straightforward way. Or if they're working with Hayley or others, she can help to make some introductions.
Hayley's seen out and about with a lot of groups at the moment, so she sounds like a great person to sort of get to know and get involved with. We've got a separate interview with her, and she shared her contact details. If you had a goal for the next 12 months within your role, what would it be? What do you think? What would be your primary goal for the next 12 months?
Specifically for people with disabilities, or more generally?
Generally, really. I think it's interesting to hear what your role as a whole is trying to get to, really.
Yeah. So adult social care is a difficult place to work at the best of times. Since COVID, in common with everywhere across the country, it's been incredibly difficult to recruit and retain staff. That's not good for people who are drawing on those services because they see an awful lot of change. Difficult, you have to start reforming relationships again, telling your story again. I'm absolutely delighted that we are, for the first time in a very, very long time, almost fully staffed. I want to invest in those people to make sure that they're the very best they can be, so that when they're working with people who live in Calderdale, those people are getting the very best social care and social work input. So I'm really keen to do that. I've just come from a meeting with the team leaders who are full of ideas of ways to do things better and how to improve things. And their feedback to me was that it already feels calmer and that we've got a clear sense of direction. So that feels brilliant. And if I can have a second one,
of course.
The area of staffing that we've struggled most with has been in our all-age disability service. We are fully staffed, just about. We've got one more role to fill there. And we've had some additional money this year, and I'm directing the vast majority of that at the all-age disability service. We're late on reviewing people. We really want to get on top of all of that, so that people with any disability are getting the very best service that they possibly can, and particularly young people. We want to build a preparing for adulthood service that is really providing excellent support to people early, not waiting as we currently do until they're just about 18, and then those relationships are much harder to build. So I've squeezed 3 in there, but those are the things I'd really like to do.
It's good effort that. I think squeezing 3 in, no problem with that at all. Thanks for your time. Be lovely to catch up with you perhaps in 6 months' time and do a review and see where you're getting with it. But thanks for coming along, and thanks for your time.
Lovely, thank you very much indeed.
Our second interview was with Hayley Parks, who has been in her role somewhat longer than Anne. She's also a regular at our meetings. We asked her about her role, about the people and groups she's been meeting out on the road. So, hi Hayley, welcome to our open meeting. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hi everybody, my name's Hayley Parks. I joined Calderdale Council at the end of September last year. I'm based within the Adult Services and Wellbeing Department, so my kind of area is to involve people who may use adult social care or care for someone who does and have a voice. So that might be in the design, delivery and development of certain services or projects.
Why would you be particularly interested in working with Disability Partnership Calderdale?
So I work with lots of organisations across Calderdale, but my main kind of aim when coming into the role was to make connections with residents across Calderdale. So particularly people who can give us that expert by experience viewpoint of what it's like to be supported by social care teams, people who've got experience, for example, of being a carer, and to ensure that they have a voice in some of the projects that we're working on.
You tell me about some of the other organisations that you're currently working with then?
Yes, so part of my job is to engage with community organisations and charities across Calderdale as well as local people. So I'm aware of Accessible Calderdale, I have contacts there. I also visit Halifax Society for the Blind. I've met Damien, who's their engagement worker at events. I've also been involved with the Forum 50+, so I've got connections there. So I see lots of different kind of networks out and about at advice and information fairs. So the list is actually really, really long for that. But I am keen to kind of continue making connections as well. So if you have a group or you're aware of a group that I've not managed to see yet, it would be really, really good if you could drop me an email and get in touch. Women's Activity Centre in Halifax have been really welcoming to me. I've done some workshops there, and I've also visited the APNA Staying Well Hub at Hanson Lane Enterprise Centre. I get out to quite a lot of things, so from Lower Valley up to Upper Valley for the network meetings. So I'm just really keen to find out what's going on and then spread the word about some of the projects I'm involved with.
So Hayley, how would people get in touch with you if they wanted to have a chat with you then?
So they can call my work mobile number. So the number for that is 075 011 166 551, or you can email me at work, which is hayley.parks@calderdale.gov.uk.
That's brilliant. If I was to ask you one thing you'd like to achieve in the next 12 months within your job, perhaps a key goal, anything that sort of springs to mind?
Yeah, one of the things that we've been looking at is including people in what we're calling our people's panel. So we're really keen to embed co-production into our recruitment of social care staff. So we're inviting local people along to be part of the interview process. So we would love to build the list of people who'd like to help us with that. And then a second thing, I know you said one, sorry Phil. A second thing is I'd really love to grow numbers of the community voice group. It's still a new group. We've only met 3 times before, and we're always looking for people to join us and give us their thoughts on what's happening in Calderdale.
Brilliant. That sounds really good. Okay, final question. What is co-production?
So co-production is a really fancy word that essentially means involving people and people having a voice. So it's talking to people, hearing about their experiences, and then working with them on an equal level. So kind of ditching the lanyard of that professional job, sitting down with somebody and having conversations that are really meaningful, and making sure that they're involved right from the beginning of a project or an idea, right through to the end delivery of a service.
Fantastic. Hayley, thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Phil.
We spoke to Anne and Hayley at our most recent open meeting, where they both gave presentations on their work and took time to speak one-to-one with many of our guests. All our open meetings feature guest speakers, who are chosen for various reasons, often because they're involved in providing services for people with disabilities. If you've never been to one of our open meetings, they're free to attend, include a free buffet, hot and cold drinks, and they combine relevant and topical speakers with the opportunity to mix with people with disabilities and our workers and trustees, who can offer information, advice, or just a friendly person to chat with. So this is perhaps an opportune moment to share Disability Partnership Calderdale's meeting dates for the rest of the year. We'll next be getting together on Tuesday the 27th of August at the Old Rishworthians Rugby Club in Copley for our summer garden party. Then our next 2 open meetings are on Tuesday the 22nd of October and Tuesday the 26th of November. Both will be at the King's Centre in Halifax, and the latter will include our 2024 annual general meeting. Finally, for this year, on Tuesday the 17th of December, we'll be holding our Christmas party, again at the Old Rishworthians Club in Copley. We'll let you have more details of each of these meetings in our newsletter, podcast and news sections of the website as the dates draw nearer. So that's it for this podcast. On behalf of everyone at Disability Partnership Calderdale, I hope you enjoyed listening to it. We'd like to thank Anne and Hayley for their time and for answering our questions, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks with more topical interviews and news. In the meantime, you can keep up to date with all the latest events and updates on our website, disabilitypartnershipcalderdale.org. That's disabilitypartnershipcalderdale.org, where you can also subscribe to our free email newsletter. Thanks for listening, and until next time, goodbye.